I have just retired as a professional fairy after 20 years of magical service. In the early days of my career, I worked out that all brides want to look like fairy princesses. So I brought vintage and second-hand wedding dresses and dyed them all colours of the rainbow. Everything I did, everything I owned, even the air I breathed was fabulously fairy. But something was missing, and my mental health was failing me as soon as I took the sparkling costumes off. Airy fairy and being away with the fairies. And what about the way fairies die when people stop believing in them, and then live again when people give them applause? How insecure and egotistical. Surely fairies are made of stronger stuff than this. Late one night, as I sat on my back veranda with my fur person Familiar, I contemplated this conundrum and asked the universe to send me a sign. Enter an owl. And an epiphany of spectacular proportions. Could a fairy be impatient and moody? Extroverted and spontaneously outrageous? A type of fairy who could cause a riot? Yes! A riot fairy! A punk, goth, scary fairy who hangs out with a pack of fairies who all have the same power, energy and attitude. Riot Fairy Raz was born, but she was a bit X-rated. So other Riot Fairy incarnations followed, like the PG-rated one who ran the self-esteem workshops with teenagers, and the M-rated one who did dance performance, and the R-rated one who was an MC, and finally the G-rated Tiny Tot show that was brandishing the importance of being your true self. The Riot Fairy allowed me to express buried emotions, and consequently other loud characters followed, like the science fiction-inspired Space Fairy, the dodgy circus entertainer Fifi Frioli, the burlesque character Pussy L'Amour, and finally, the family-friendly Fairy Floss. Fairy Floss was my final fairy. She had a gang of fairy apprentices who travelled around festivals and fetes, spreading face paint and balloon animals to one and all. Fairy Floss even took action for reconciliation. So I thank the goddess that I grew the Riot Fairy. Who knows what the Riot Fairies will do next?